What do you got there?
Whoa, so, Valentine's Day gifts.
Valentine's Day gifts.
Yeah, I need your help because I know that I don't always pick the best gifts, but this year I think I've got it.
Okay, well, I think I'll be the judge of that and kind of help and make sure you have some good gifts for your wife this year.
Well, I think you're gonna like the first one.
What is that?
It's a tooth, and because recently she went to the dentist, and I think she did a really good job, and I'm proud of her, so I want to give her like an award, like a tooth.
Okay, going to the dentist is not a fun thing, so I don't think anybody wants to be reminded of that with a gift.
But you can learn something too. It's really cool.
Next.
Okay. Stuffed bananas, like soft banana, like a kind of like a pillow.
Okay, does that have any significance or meaning in your family, or is it just a random gift?
She likes yellow. No? Okay. This one I think is really good. This one's good. Aha! An alarm clock.
Why do you think this is good?
Because she's always waking up late.
Oh boy. Okay, you really need some help with this. These are not great gifts.
They're not good gifts, but look at Snoopy. I love Snoopy.
I think you need to maybe think about some chocolate.
I think I want this gift for myself.
Okay, well, today we're gonna look at My Chocolate Valentine Part 1, and I think we need to actually get into maybe how to make a cake.
Oh, okay, that sounds great. All right, well, I'm gonna go back to the store and return these.
Yeah, and maybe get some ingredients.
Okay, all right, bye-bye.
When many of us think of Valentine's Day, chocolate immediately springs to mind. This year, make your love fall for you all over again with this rich chocolate cake recipe. Ingredients: 3 eggs, 1 cup sugar, ½ cup vegetable oil, 1 cup yogurt, ½ cup milk, 2 cups all-purpose flour, ½ cup cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 160 milliliters heavy cream, 160 grams chocolate, 1½ cups fresh strawberries.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I am Sam, and today we're looking at the reading My Chocolate Valentine Part 1.
So wait, your Valentine is made of chocolate?
No.
It's like your boyfriend or your...
No, that's not how it works. I mean, maybe you could get like a chocolate bunny, but not a chocolate real Valentine. That doesn't work like that.
So for Valentine's Day, we're going to give somebody chocolate.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, which are much better than the gifts that we just saw you try to give.
Well, because I feel like chocolate is kind of boring. It's too traditional.
It's traditional for a reason. It's delicious, and you can make a lot of stuff out of it.
But I've been with my wife for many, many years. I mean, yeah, I'm with my wife for many, many years, and I've given her chocolate so many times.
And what did she think when you gave it to her?
She liked it at first, but I think now she's just like, oh, chocolate, thank you.
Okay, well, what if you take chocolate and you actually make something yourself?
Ooh, make the chocolate myself.
Yeah.
Wait, aren't we going to be looking at a chocolate recipe today?
Yes, we are.
This is perfect. All right, let's look at the article. When many of us think of Valentine's Day, chocolate immediately springs to mind.
Yes, and I think this is very true for a lot of people.
If we say something springs to mind, what do we mean?
Well, spring can also mean jump, so it like jumps into your brain.
Yeah, so like it wasn't there and suddenly, boom, chocolate right there in your mind.
I think a lot of people feel like that chocolate there all the time. Ooh. And also we have this word immediately. Right. So immediately is an adverb that means right away. So something happens super quickly and happens immediately after something else.
立刻，立刻马上.
Your Chinese is really good.
Wow, thank you.
So here we have an example sentence. When Ruby heard the sound of the fire alarm, she immediately looked for the closest exit.
That's smart.
very smart.
If there's a fire, you should probably run, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the first thought is there's the exit, and that's where I'm going.
Okay, so why don't we continue the reading?
So we look at this reading. The next part is, this year, make your love fall for you all over again with this rich chocolate cake recipe.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. My wife is going to fall in love with me again. That will be awesome.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that this chocolate cake is not just a simple chocolate cake. It's also very rich, rich chocolate.
So what's your favorite kind of cake?
What's my favorite kind of, well, you know, I do love a chocolate cake, a good chocolate cake, but I actually really like a funfetti cake, which has nothing to do with what we're talking about today.
Funfetti? So is funfetti has like confetti in it? Like
looks like little sprinkles, and so it looks like edible confetti. Delicious, by the way. I haven't seen it in Taiwan, but it is a big thing in America.
Okay, so we're looking at a recipe. So recipe is a vocabulary word here. So a recipe is basically instructions for how to make some kind of food, right? So for example, you can say, this book contains a great recipe for chicken noodle soup.
Oh, chicken noodle soup is good too.
I'm a vegetarian, so...
Oh. So what do you eat when you're sick? Because chicken noodle soup is such a sick food.
Vegetable noodle soup?
I guess that works.
Okay, let's look at the ingredients for this cake. Hopefully it's not too complicated and I can make this. Okay, so the ingredients are, we need 3 eggs,
Okay.
1 cup sugar, 1/2 cup vegetable oil. Okay, so far it's not chicken oil, vegetable oil, so I can also eat the cake.
Good.
1 cup yogurt. Yogurt is my favorite.
Yeah, and yogurt in a cake does a lot of really good stuff to make it very moist and delicious.
Ooh, 1/2 cup milk. Okay, 2 cups all-purpose flour. Oh, we have to have flour when we're making a cake, right?
Yeah.
And 1/2 cup cocoa powder.
Ooh, so now we're getting into the chocolatey part, and so it sounds like it's going to be pretty good.
So like cocoa powder is what chocolate is made of, right? Right? So cocoa and chocolate kind of mean the same thing.
Yes.
Right?
And we also have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, which by the way, vanilla extract is delicious, but not very common in Taiwan.
Yeah, it's not as common in Taiwan. I think baking in Taiwan for the average person is not as common as it is in the United States.
True. We also have 160 milliliters of heavy cream, 160 grams of chocolate, 1.5 cups of fresh strawberries.
Ooh,
Yes,
this sounds good.
It's a pretty darn good cake.
Chocolate and strawberries?
What could be better?
Man. I'm afraid I'm going to make this cake and then I'm just going to eat the whole thing.
Well, you have to at least share a little bit with your wife.
Yeah, maybe I'll make 2 cakes. I'm smart. All right, let's take a break and we'll see you right after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。2月有一个特别的节日，那就是情人节。很多人一想到情人节，就会立刻想到巧克力。今天的课文呢，就要提供一种巧克力蛋糕的食谱，同学们有空可以试着做做看哦。我们来看单字 immediately，immediately 就表示立刻、马上，是个副词。那么 recipe 则是指食谱或是烹饪法。那这边要补充一下，我们食谱里面呢是用中筋面粉来做。那中筋面粉的英文可以说 all-purpose flour， 你也可以说 plain flour。那如果是高筋面粉，你可以说 bread flour， 它是适合用来做面包的。那么低筋面粉，你可以说 cake flour， 它可以用来做出松软的蛋糕。好，再来，食谱里面还有提到 vanilla extract 香草精，我们这边要注意 extract 的发音哦，它当名词是这样念的，那可以指提炼物、萃取物或者是什么什么精，像我们说的香草精的那个精。好，那么 Sam 老师刚刚说他最爱的蛋糕是 funfetti cake。我们这边先补充一下 confetti 这个字 ，confetti， 它这个是指五彩碎纸 confetti。 那么 Funfetti Cake 这种蛋糕呢，它就是有那种可食用的彩色细小的糖，就像是你吃冰淇淋上面会撒的那一种彩糖，视觉上看起来是不是就很像五彩碎纸呢？这时候老师用到 sprinkle，S-P-R-I-N-K-L-E，sprinkle 就是指说撒在糕饼上面用来做装饰那种细小彩色的糖。还有用到 edible，E-D-I-B-L-E，edible 是形容词，可以形容可食用的。解答课文中。
Instructions 1. Mix the eggs with the sugar. 2. While stirring, slowly add the vegetable oil, milk, yogurt, and vanilla extract. 3. Sift the flour, cocoa powder, and baking powder into the wet mixture. Stir to combine. 4. Pour the mixture into 2 cake pans to bake at 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes. 5. While the cake cools, make the ganache by pouring the heated heavy cream over warm chocolate and stirring thoroughly. 6. Spread the ganache over the cool bottom layer of cake and place sliced strawberries on top of it. 7. Place the next cake layer carefully before pouring the rest of the ganache over the top. Finish it off with more sliced strawberries.
Welcome back. So in our last part, we were looking at the different ingredients that we needed to make our chocolate cake.
Yeah, I cannot wait to find out how to make this. Now we know what the ingredients are, and they sound delicious.
Yes.
But how do we put all these things together to make a wonderful cake?
Well, let's look.
Okay, let's look at the instructions.
So here are the instructions. Step 1. 1. Mix the eggs with the sugar. 2. While stirring, slowly add the vegetable oil, milk, yogurt, and vanilla extract.
Okay.
Extract.
So you're going to add all of this stuff together, and while you're adding it, you're going to stir it.
Yes.
So stir is a verb, which means you use like a spoon or something like a spoon to mix, usually kind of like liquid and maybe
any kind of substance, you know.
Mix it together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, you can say, I couldn't find a spoon, so I stirred my coffee with a fork. Hey, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a fork might not work the best because it's got some holes in it, but you know, it's still...
For coffee, if you're adding cream and coffee, I think you can use anything. Your finger. I've used my finger before.
That's true.
But it kind of hurt because it was hot coffee.
Well, that might not have been the best idea, but you know.
I washed my hands first. Yeah.
So this word stir, we can also use it in a lot of different ways to kind of mean to make trouble. For example, we can say stir the pot. So yeah, you might think of like a pot and literally stirring it, but it actually means, we use it quite often to mean to make trouble. So you might say something just to kind of like cause a little trouble here.
Yeah, I could say, why are you stirring things up?
That's another way.
Everything is just really calm and you have to make everything get uncalm.
Yeah, and then all the trouble kind of comes out, and then you would be considered a pot stirrer or somebody who likes to stir up trouble. So this word can also be used in this way.
Okay, let's keep looking at the instructions for making this delicious cake. Next, we're going to sift the flour, cocoa powder, and baking powder into the wet mixture, and then stir to combine. What does that mean, sift? I was doing this.
Well, yeah, so a lot of times when you're baking, you will actually have a sifter, and it's looks like a little cup. And the bottom is kind of a grate system. And so when you put the flour in and you kind of shake it, it will kind of make sure that all the clumps or anything like that have kind of broken up and kind of sift down into a fine little powder like snow.
Right, so it's like a powder and very smooth, right? Okay. Then we're going to pour the mixture into 2 cake pans to bake at 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes. I'm always having to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit when I'm baking at home.
Yeah, I need to use Google every single time to check because I always forget which is the actual correct degree.
Right.
So.
But it's different in America. We use Fahrenheit, right?
Yes.
When we're following recipes. So
Yes.
sometimes in Taiwan, we will get the recipe and we're, oh, I have to Google this and figure out how to convert it.
Yeah, because normally your recipe might be like 350 degrees Fahrenheit. You don't want to do that in Celsius. That would not be a good idea.
They'll have just a black cake. Not black because it's chocolate, but black because it's burnt.
Yep. Okay, so in this section we had the word pour. So pour means to make a substance or a liquid or a powder flow from one side or from one container to the next. So you might use your hand and lift your hand up like this and pour the stuff out. In the mornings you might pour your cereal into a bowl and then pour some milk over that, and then you can start to eat it.
Remember when I was a kid, I would just pour sugar all over it.
You could also do that. Might not be the best, might not be the healthiest breakfast, but it probably tastes delicious.
Yeah.
So we have an example sentence here. Sam poured the beer into a glass and slid it over to a waiting customer.
Wow, so he's a bartender.
Yeah. There used to be an
cool.
old game like that too, where you had to slide the beer cans down and not let them drop off the end.
When they do that in movies, I think, does that ever really happen in real life? I mean, it looks really shy, right? Whew. Yeah. But I think it's just too dangerous.
The risk seems not worth the reward. So let's continue on with our cake mix and our instructions. And so the next part for step 5, we have, while the cake cools, make the ganache by pouring the heated heavy cream over warm chocolate and stirring thoroughly.
Okay, so ganache is like chocolate and cream mixed together, right?
Yeah, you know, and it's a very common ingredient in baking and confectionery.
I think I'm gonna just be like sticking my finger into the bowl and just eating all of this. It's going to be gone before I can even start cooking.
Well, I mean, it is important to have regular taste tests. Make sure along the way that it tastes good. So.
Okay, just don't eat too much.
Step 6. Spread the ganache over the cool bottom layer of the cake and place sliced strawberries on top of it. Now we're getting to the strawberry part.
Wow. Okay, so slice, right? To slice is a verb, and it means to cut something into thin, flat pieces. So, for example, you could say, tears rolled down Doris's face as she sliced the onions.
Yes.
Okay, not because she sliced off her finger.
Hopefully not.
But when she's slicing the onions, it made her cry.
Yes. I don't know if a lot of people have that. Does that happen to you?
It happens to me. It doesn't happen to you?
I tend to just not cut the onions. I usually let somebody else do it because I don't want to cry in the kitchen.
Yeah, it really hurts, right?
Yeah, it's a bit of a stinging and burning feeling in your eyes, so not great.
Generally speaking, when you're slicing and cutting things in the kitchen, you just have to be careful. Okay, the next step is 7. Place the next cake layer carefully before pouring the rest of the ganache over the top. Finish it off with more sliced strawberries. Ooh, so it has like layers.
Yeah, so when you cut into it, you get strawberries in the middle and on top. It's going to be so pretty.
Oh, this sounds amazing. Cake and ganache and strawberries.
Delicious.
She is going to love me so much. But I don't know if I have enough time to make this cake. I better get started like right now.
Yeah, you better go.
Ooh.
I mean, it's going to be
Okay.
soon.
All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
好，那我们就来学这种巧克力蛋糕的做法。第一个步骤，把蛋和糖混合。第二个步骤，搅拌的时候就慢慢加入植物油、牛奶、优格，还有香草精。那来看单字 stir 它就是搅拌、搅动。老师没有补充相关用语 ，stir up 就是表达激起、挑起兴趣，它也有煽动、惹麻烦的意思。那么 stir the pot 这个用语也可以表达那种煽动啊、鼓动的意思。再来看第3个步骤是将面粉、可可粉和泡打粉过筛，加入湿料当中搅拌混合。那第4个步骤是把混合物倒进2个蛋糕模里，用摄氏180度烤大约30分钟。好，来看单字 pour， 它表示倾倒、大量的倒入的意思。那文中用到 sift 这个字，它是当动词来表达过筛，像你要筛面粉、筛糖，会用这个动词来表达。在后面加上 er 这个字尾，变成 sifter， 那就是过筛的工具咯，可以像是筛子啊、筛网之类的。那过筛呢，是为了避免有结块，这时候老师用到 clump， C-L-U-M-P， clump 就可以指团块的意思。 另外，在讲温度，我们常用摄氏表达，那来学一下 Celsius， 就是形容摄氏的，而美国常常会用 Fahrenheit， 则是华氏的。那有时候我们可能摄氏、华氏要转换，可能还要查一下，对不对？好 ，Shane 老师他这时候用到一个动词叫 convert，C-O-N-V-E-R-T，convert 就是表达转换、转变的意思。我们再来看第5个步骤是蛋糕冷却的时候，把加热的重乳汁鲜奶油倒进这个温的巧克力里面，充分搅拌，然后制作甘纳许，然后把甘纳许抹在你放凉的蛋糕底层，然后在上面放上这个草莓切片。接下来呢，你就小心的放下一层蛋糕，然后再把剩下的甘纳许倒在上面，然后再用草莓切片收尾，这样就会一层一层很漂亮，然后就完成咯。好，单字 slice 它是动词，表示将什么切成薄片，那它的过去分词 sliced 可以形容是切成薄片的。还有我们提到这个 ganache 甘纳许，它就是鲜奶油巧克力酱，它在糖果甜食里面都很常见。这时候 Sam 老师用到 confectionery 这个字，我们拼一下 C-O-N-F-E-C-T-I-O-N-E-R-Y。confectionery 它是表达糖果甜食的总称，它是不可数名词哦。那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
When many of us think of Valentine's Day, chocolate immediately springs to mind. This year, make your love fall for you all over again with this rich chocolate cake recipe. Ingredients: 3 eggs, 1 cup sugar, ½ cup vegetable oil, 1 cup yogurt, ½ cup milk, 2 cups all-purpose flour, ½ cup cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 160 milliliters heavy cream, 160 grams chocolate, 1½ cups fresh strawberries. Instructions: 1. Mix the eggs with the sugar. 2. While stirring, slowly add the vegetable oil, milk, yogurt, and vanilla extract. 3. Sift the flour, cocoa powder, and baking powder into the wet mixture. Stir to combine. 4. Pour the mixture into 2 cake pans to bake at 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 minutes. 5. While the cake cools, make the ganache by pouring the heated heavy cream over warm chocolate and stirring thoroughly. 6. Spread the ganache over the cool bottom layer of cake and place sliced strawberries on top of it. 7. Place the next cake layer carefully before pouring the rest of the ganache over the top. Finish it off with more sliced strawberries.
Hello, I'm Matt.
And I'm Nina.
Today we're going to play a game called Guess the Bear, where we each have 3 cards with sentences on them with vocabulary words replaced by the word bear. And we each have 1 minute to guess all 3 words or phrases. Okay?
Would you like to start first?
Sure, I can go first.
All right.
1 minute, let's go.
Let's start. Okay, it's a verb. Nancy bared the salt into the soup. The second sentence, bear the batter until it's thick.
Mix, stir.
Yes,
Okay.
right. The next one, it's a verb. You shouldn't bear with a dull knife. The sword bared through the bamboo cleanly.
Cut,
No.
pierced, sliced.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. The last one, it's a 2-word phrase. She bared bear his sweet words and kind gestures. It's easy to bear Sandy. Everyone wants to be with her.
Easy to... So you say read one more time?
She bared bear his sweet words and kind gestures. It's easy to bear Sandy. Everyone wants to be with her.
I can't think of anything. I
Okay, all right.
One-word things I was
Try
thinking
again.
of.
All right.
So
my
what
turn.
was it?
It was fall for.
Okay.
Yeah, so she fell for his sweet words and kind gestures. It's easy to fall for Sandy. Everyone wants to be with her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I missed
My
that
turn?
one. Your turn. All right. Ready?
Right.
1 minute. Ready? Let's go. First one is 1 word noun. My mom's apple pie bear is the best. Just follow the bear and you'll have a cake in no time.
Recipe.
That's right.
All right.
Next one's an adverb, one word. I need you to return my call, bear. The room bare filled with the smell of cookies when I opened the jar.
Immediately.
Yes,
Ooh,
good job.
on a roll.
Next one, a verb. Gary bared himself a glass of milk for breakfast. And I don't want to bear water on my new dress.
Pour.
That's correct.
Nice.
That was 3 in a row.
Looks like I win.
Yeah, looks like you do win.
My first
Don't miss
time.
that one.
See you next time.